Down there is still not clear. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News.
From Al Jazeera.
This is Al Jazeera. These are the top stories. Germany's health minister says there's been a worrying jump in new coronavirus cases. The number of infections over the past day has soared above 4,000 for the first time since April. Restrictions are being tightened around the country.
The current situation worries me a lot. We don't know how things will develop over the next few weeks. It's possible that we will see more than 10,000 new cases a day. It's possible that the virus spreads uncontrollably.
President Trump's handling of the coronavirus has dominated the U.S. vice presidential debate in Salt Lake City. Mike Pence defended the U.S. response and blamed China. Democratic candidate Kamala Harris described the Trump administration's record as the greatest failure in U.S. history.
They knew and they covered it up. The president said it was a hoax. They minimized the seriousness of it. The president said you're on one side of his ledger if you wear a mask, you're on the other side of his ledger if you don't. And in spite of all of that, today they still don't have a plan.
International mediators are set to begin talks in Geneva to halt the worst fighting in decades between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The diplomatic effort is happening as intense shelling in Nagorno-Karabakh continues. A local rights group says half the population has been displaced because of constant attacks by Azerbaijan. The Azeri side says Armenian forces are targeting their major cities. Indonesian police have fired tear gas at protesters rallying against the new labour law. It's the third day of nationwide demonstrations. Labour unions say it will erode workers' rights and weaken environmental protections. The government says it's needed to boost an economy hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Opposition groups in Kyrgyzstan remain divided over who should take over as Prime Minister. It follows the annulment of Sunday's parliamentary election. Myanmar's government is being urged to release 130,000 Rohingya Muslims from detention. Reports by Human Rights Watch has described life in their refugee camps in Rakhine State as squalid and abusive.
In weather. In Bellows Falls, it's 46 degrees Fahrenheit with partly sunny skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 55 degrees and a low of 31 degrees. That's all for your flash briefing.
All right. Nobody in the chat, but if anybody wants to watch this video later, what's going on? Today is going to be all gab after a little bit of warm-up here. And what is this? This is, I don't know, nothing in particular, just shapes. Shapes. Got a cat on the floor right behind me. I'm in a rolling chair. She could easily get rolled over if I were to just push back without checking for cats. But since she spends a lot of time there, I do check for cats. Oh, here's Parker. Hey, Parker. Good morning, Kim Ho. What happens if you do not warm up? I don't know. Probably nothing. It's just when I get into the detailed work, it all moves very slowly. No, there's not much happening. It seems to me it's probably not all that interesting. So I like to do a couple of these things where, you know, something comes out. Something emerges quickly. Ill clouds. So I was thinking, if you did post some short clips from your old shows, it should be from the interviews that are in the book. Oh, yeah. then you could have a link to it if someone watched it. Good call. I like that idea. Also, with these warm-ups, I'm largely just playing with the tools, you know, looking for those happy accidents. I would like to get rid of those 3 boxes of books I've got left. I just posted some moose bags for sale. If you go hunting for a moose, it's good to have 4 of these bags, apparently. I hope that I get them up before the end of the moose season. Not sure I know what a moose bag is. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't know what a moose bag is. I didn't even know you had moose in your neck of the woods. I did not know either. It's a type of big game meat bag. I got it at a yard sale from someone that moved from Alaska. I asked him if he had to get a moose he hunted out of the wild. He said it told, but I'm guessing took 3 guys 6 hours to get it out. Yeah, moose are big animals, no doubt. All right, good enough. Gotta move over to Clip Studio early today. All right. Ed and VZ here. All right. These two are going to get the black and white treatment, so let's open. Okay. First, good morning. How you doing? What's the rumpus? You're welcome, Parker. I know that the brain and the typing fingers sometimes lose track of one another. Certainly happens with me. All right. Well, Parker and First, you are the first ones here. Do you have anything in particular you'd like to hear me jabber about? Either of you watched the debate last night? Technically, I watched it, but had the sound turned off for most of it. I really do not like the sound of Kamala Harris' voice. Where did I put that? Yeah. No, we're going to turn Ed Ink off for now. So it's Thursday. You know what that means? Maybe you don't. Maybe it means nothing to you. To me, it's a new episode of Star Trek Lower Decks, which I actually like. I know the YouTube cottage industry of people who are dedicated to hating everything about new Star Trek, you know, they hate it, of course. And I certainly have been disappointed in Discovery and Picard. But I'm okay with Lower Decks. Mike McMahon is clearly a lover of all things Trek, or, you know, at least a lover of the Next Generation era. And the show is clearly set in the Star Trek universe. Yes, it's goofy and has some kind of on-the-nose humor, but so be it. All right. This is not how I normally draw his shoes. But I'm not even sure the shoes are going to be in the shot. See, normally I write a script first and then I do a breakdown of, you know, how the page is going to look, and then I just draw what's going to appear on the page. But I've started doing like full body characters just to sort of have around as clip art and reference and to use in memes and other quick projects. All right. Oh, hey, how about some tones on his whole head up there? There we go. Okay. The head looks closed to me. So we go to VZ Inc. Select. Back to tones. And paint bucket. All right. Pretty good. Let's see. I don't know if I want to hear about the debate or not because it did come to mind. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about it other than, you know, Pence was kind of the anti-Trump. He was very collected and very calm and patient and not agitated. Hey, here's Ed. Yeah, I know. I remember seeing the fly on Pence's head. That was bizarre. And it just stuck there for a long time, and he clearly didn't know about it. Which told me that his hair was pretty heavily shellacked. Parker first and KMO. Good morning, Ed. That is some music from, I think, Angry Birds 2. You know, the two video games that I play the most, Angry Birds 2 and Plants vs. Zombies 2, they both had excellent music. Alrighty. Ed, did you watch the vice presidential debate last night? The ice cream truck in my neighborhood sometimes plays the Tetris music. Right on. Can't bring the Tetris music to mind right offhand, but I'm sure I would recognize it as I've heard it. God knows how many times. Many, many times. I watched the debate, yes. I had to empty my glass early because something Kamala Harris said. I remember the rule that you proposed yesterday. Like her first statement was an empty your glass sort of statement. What was it? I appreciate that climate change is a subject in the debates this round. I've been waiting for that to happen for decades, Parker says. Pence was really trying to put the Green New Deal around Harris's neck like an albatross. What was that, Edward? Ed's rule was every time somebody says something, Donald Trump is the blankest president, or she said that Trump was the worst president in history. Yep, right off the bat. All right. All right. I'm going to call VZ done there. Now, I'm going to do a separate layer, separate tones layer. Let's get a picture of Ed to use as reference. Okay, well, how about... All right, are my paths closed? No. All right, so... Ah, will Rose be around? Let's see. I committed to emptying my glass the first time one of them said Trump is blankest in history. Best, worst, best, both, whatever. Will Rose be around? Probably not. Rose is, she's out of town. I mean, clearly she's always been out of this town, but she's at her parents' place in the province. So probably not at liberty to hang out on the stream here. My daughter, Jadzia, got a real kick out of seeing the fly on Pence's hairscape. It's fun to laugh with another person at the same time. Here is today's War of Art excerpt. If you find yourself asking yourself and your friends, am I really a writer? Am I really an artist? Chances are you are. The counterfeit innovator is wildly self-confident. The real one is scared to death. Interesting. I hear about imposter syndrome. For the most part, I don't think I experience it. I recognize my limitations. I know I'm not the world's greatest artist, but still got to do it. The rent comes due every month. Maybe most of the people who... Well, no, I don't think so. I think people even in their professional lives, they report feeling imposter syndrome. Like they really don't belong where they are. This is the part of the process I would definitely like to hand off to an assistant or an AI. You know, in the traditional comic book production process, there's a penciler, an inker, a colorist, a letterer. Each person just doing a little piece. Well, the penciler's job is not little, nor is anybody's, really. What else we got here? The real one is scared to death. The real one is scared to death. The real one is scared to death. You really want us to appreciate that one, huh? Do you have some podcast material on deck? Yes, but for the vault. I have the remainder of Vladimir J. Putin on American Exceptionalism. It's not you, it's just America being America by Vladimir J. Putin. I finished reading, recording, and editing the audiobook last night. So I'll do that this afternoon after I get back from the gym. I will post that. I'm supposed to be talking to Doug Lane for his podcast, I guess, over the weekend, and I'll ask about sharing that on the vault. Not sure if that's going to be on his free show or his members only show. If it's the members only show, I'll see about at least excerpting it for the vault. And Rose and I have another video, I'd say in the works, but we haven't recorded anything yet. It's just the first video, we wrote a full script and recorded the reading of the script. And Rose thought it sounded too stiff. So we, recovered the same material but conversationally rather than just, reading from the script. And doing it conversationally takes longer. So we didn't get through all of the topics that we had planned. So we're going to go back and pick up the spares. To use a bowling metaphor. Okay. What else? What else? Too dark. The thing that is nice for creators on Patreon is the thing I don't want to do. That is adding an additional monthly payment. Yeah, I hear you. I support a few artists on Patreon, and kind of an annoying thing for me about that is that Patreon charges me, and then a few days later they pay me. I would prefer that people who are, creators on the site, that the people they're supporting, that support just gets taken out of the monthly pay rather than charged first and then, refunded. And the coffee cup. I'm saying this as a consumer. Yeah, monthly payments, I get you. I think I mentioned on yesterday's stream, I'm so close to canceling both. Well, I'm not close to canceling Disney Plus because The Mandalorian's about to start up again, but I'm very close to canceling Netflix. Whoops, that's way too bright. I started to watch Cobra Kai, and I liked it, but when evenings come and it's time for me to select something to watch, I just never select it. I don't know why. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to duplicate this layer. And we're going to duplicate this layer. And we're going to merge it down. So we'll say duplicate flat Edwina. Alright, so now move that to the top. Turn VZ's ink and tones back on. The reason I duplicated Ed and then flattened her is if I didn't, let's see. Oh, actually no. It's all unnecessary. Alright. So, how about we save? File. Save. And that's good enough. All right. You should cancel Netflix. You can always go back. Yep. At Parker, I would have to subscribe to it first in order to cancel. Let's see. At Burning Man, idea is to abolish performer/audience dichotomy. That we are all participants co-creating for each other. Yeah. Well, obviously. I'm down with that. Okay. Oops. What have I done? Huh. I piggyback off my sister's Netflix. She has like 4 people that use her account, friends and family, but she doesn't use it. I told her the same thing. Cancel it. I will sail the high seas. You know, I haven't sailed the high seas recently. Oops. What's happening here? Or the pirate seas, we should say. Actually, back when I was a frequent user of the Pirate Bay and similar sites, I had 2 laptops. I had a work laptop and I had a fun laptop. And I would only pirate stuff with the fun laptop. And then the fun laptop, it died. So I quit pirating. And like I spend more time on YouTube. Yeah, that's the thing. I have subscriptions through, I don't know if you count Amazon Prime, because you get more than just video with it, but I've got Prime, CBS All Access, HBO, that's all through Amazon, and then Netflix and Disney Plus. And yeah, I spend most of my time on YouTube, which is free. It's a bit perverse. What else have I missed? Why do you think that is? Why do I watch YouTube more than the stuff that I'm actually paying for? I think it's because I'm really reluctant to start in on a 2-hour movie most nights. And sometimes I'm even reluctant to commit to an hour's worth of TV. But a 15-minute video, sure, I'll watch that. And maybe I end up watching 5 of them, and I might as well have watched, a TV show or something longer. It's like fear of screen commitment. Reluctance to commit. All right. What about this dude? What else we got? And another streaming service. Hypothesis: higher user counts and views is monetarily valuable for them. Those data points are part of their quarterly reports and support stock value. Maybe for investor perception. Parker, we are of the same mind on this. Yep, screen commitment issue. I saw your most recent video about meeting Rose and was like, over 30 minutes? I don't know. Well, fortunately with that one, it's basically just audio. You don't have to look at it. You can put it on, walk around, do stuff. Fitness band is telling me to get up and move around, but I'm not gonna do it. Well, actually, I might go and get some more coffee here in a sec. In fact, I am going to do that. I'm a 2-time speed washer. If I have to listen to it at normal speed, I know that video is dense with content. So do you have some method for pitch control so that the speeded up voices don't sound chipmunky? What's going on? Oh, I see. I think I see. Maybe I don't. Ah, yeah, I see. Okay. There we go. What else we got here? For KMO's video, I usually go down to 1 or 1.25 at most. Well, thank you. Thank you, Parker. YouTube algorithm takes care of pitch control. Okay, well, good. The speed control on YouTube has pitch correction. Right on. How do you access those speed controls? I might try that sometime. Okay, let's see. So many layers. Here we are, character ink. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, anybody have any subject matter requests or suggestions? Anybody want to throw some reference at me? let's pop back over to Fresco. On desktop, you hit the little gear icon in the lower right-hand corner of the video. Okay. I listened to the Marxist Dr. Wolf yesterday at 2 times speed and fully understand. Then I changed to normal speed and it sounds like he's talking in slow motion. I bet we watched the same video yesterday. On desktop, you hit the little gear icon in the lower right corner of the video. Let's see. Live oak tree. Interesting. Okay. Let's find some reference. Live oak tree. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I can see why you would suggest that. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go with this one. So let's copy it over here, paste. No, can't do that. Let's save it. Reference. Well, I guess we'll start a new folder. We'll call it plants. Save. And now we will import. Come on. Check that out. That's pretty cool, huh? All right. How to approach this? I guess we'll start with some foliage. We can actually use the effects here. Foliage. Look at that. All right. So the references takes up too much of the screen real estate. Oh well. And let's use our rakes. Oh, sorry, I've lost the chat. Parker, let's see. Let's see, Live Oak Tree. I have a philosophical question about nihilism. That is a species of oak, not just an oak that is living. I feel like you need another monitor. Well, I have two monitors. I have the Cintiq and I have the Surface Pro that I'm using here. Wait, you don't even have one monitor, I think. Yeah, I have two. You just have your device. Nope, I have a Surface Pro and I have a Cintiq that's plugged into it. Parker, in your opinion, should peanut butter be refrigerated? No. Parker gives the correct answer. No. Fascinating. What about ketchup? Yes, obviously ketchup must be refrigerated. I don't know why. This is how I grew up, I guess. Oh, me too. Peanut butter from the fridge is, what a pain. Obnoxious. That should be punishable. All right. I fear I may have bitten off more than I can chew with this live oak. Yeah. Let's see. Do you put eggs in the fridge? I do put eggs in the fridge. I heard that Europeans don't refrigerate eggs. You don't really need to. I don't know where you are at, Edward. Ed's in Quebec. Montreal. A city I have only visited once, and in stereotypical Canadian fashion, it was a blizzard. It snowed so much and so hard the power went out. Well, anyway, I could spend hours fiddling with the texture and detail of a live oak tree. I'm going to have to abandon this project, but thank you for the suggestion. Eggs are pretty amazing. They keep almost indefinitely. All right. So there's a character in Geb. Her name is Pix. And she, right now, is the hardest character for me to draw consistently, just because I haven't drawn her very often. She's played a very small role so far. And she's going to play a much bigger role in the upcoming chapter. So I need to get more comfortable drawing her. I can tell you folks on the feed here, on the live stream, Pix is a human-alien hybrid. Only Derek knows. Oh, she looks too much like a little kid there. Haha, look at that. What else we got here? Hey, got 100 messages in the chat. Right on. How is James Howard Kunstler? You know what? I haven't checked my email today. I wrote to him on Monday, and I don't think I've heard back. Let's see. Nope. I wrote to him on the 6th. So it wasn't Monday. That was Tuesday, right? And he's not written back. So, that's not good. Yeah, I don't know. In sci-fi, humans and aliens hybridize remarkably easily. Well, particularly in Star Trek. You know, there was a very well-known Star Trek novel called Spock's World by Diane Duane. And in it, you know, she talks about Sarek and Amanda having a child together and goes into detail about how it was not a natural process. It was definitely required the skill of many doctors and genetic engineers, and yeah, it was not just Vulcan man, human woman, romance, honeymoon, baby. That's not how it worked. But yes, we have what? We have human Klingon hybrids, human Vulcan hybrids, Vulcan Romulan hybrids, human Beta Z hybrids, what other combinations? Oh, there was a Cardassian, Cardassian human hybrid, because Seska got pregnant with Chakotay's baby on Voyager, and then there was a Cardassian Bajoran hybrid. I think that was Gul Dukat's daughter. Really, this is Ed's territory here, I think. Ed's the big Deep Space Nine aficionado. But in the context of Geb, alien-human hybrids are definitely the result of genetic engineering. They're not naturally occurring, spontaneously occurring. But Vulcans and Romulans are the same species, if I remember right. Nope, they are not. They're related, but they are different species. which is why on the Next Generation, they gave the Romulans, bumpy foreheads, and then later on Picard they rationalized it by saying that those were the Northern Romulans that had the bumpy foreheads, and there were smooth-headed Southern Romulans. All right. Let's see. Okay, I stand corrected. I think that a lot of sci-fi is Earth thing in space / future. Yeah, I mean that's the standard explanation is that sci-fi is not about the future and it's not about space. It's about us, but it allows us to tell stories about the contemporary scene without saying it directly. Jumping way back in the conversation, the last thing I watched on Disney Plus was Frozen, a movie that came out, I guess, when I was living in New York, and didn't make it out to the theater to see it, although I'm one of those weirdos who typically does go to the theater to see a new Disney animated film. But that film was so insanely popular with young girls, I think I made an unfair judgment about it, that it was somehow going to be, lame. And that's a really good movie. I was very pleased with it. Okay. I like to give her a very pointy chin. All right, that's Pix. Whoa, that's big. Let's see. Take that down a bit. I enjoyed Frozen, says Parker. I have not yet seen the sequel. Actually, it'll come as no surprise to y'all that what prompted me to watch... Come on, there we go. Frozen was a conversation with Rose. She likes it a lot. So, fellas, if Rose does pop up here in the chat, I think she feels a little intimidated by the seriousness of the topics that come up here, which, like, I noticed the last time she was here, we were talking fluffy stuff right up until the moment she turned up, and then suddenly things got political. And she just doesn't feel, well, one, she's not particularly interested in politics, and two, she doesn't feel like she is ready to hang with the big dogs when discussing it. So if she does turn up, Ixnay on the Olympics-tay? No, Olympics-pay. Politics-pay. Politics. Politics-pay, yes. Who came up with Pig Latin? Let's put one of those rakes in her hair. Come on. Mm-hmm. Rakes. That one. I don't know if I like that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. Let's see. Parker, government has decreed that movie theaters must be closed. We obey great leader. He is wise. Oh, my socialist movie theater is definitely closed down. And in fact, the theater manager got the boot. Town couldn't afford to keep paying him, you know. He's not bringing in any revenue. It was a bummer, for sure. I really enjoyed hanging out at the theater and talking to him. You know, the theater is in the same building as the town hall, so oftentimes I was there to shoot video at meetings, and then afterwards I'd have to pass through the movie theater lobby, and I'd talk to Rick, the theater manager, and we had a good time, but he is no longer there. Thank you, COVID. Alrighty, let's see. No, not that nose. Yuck. Ugh. I gotta get in close. Let's see. How can I do that? Here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this back over to Clip Studio Paint. So, quick export. Let's say pics. Oh, there's a message from Rose. She says, "Hello, love. Pardon me, folks, for just a sec." Okay, so back to your chat, folks. I hate perfumed candles, says Les. Hey, Les. Good to see you. Oh, I'm a little behind. I have a digital projector. It makes a nice big image on the wall. I like to be able to pause and go to the washroom without missing parts of a movie. I find it annoying to go to theater because I cannot pause. I find the people at theaters typically annoying. Nice, we got some rebels. I thought that I heard that AMC was opening at half capacity. October have second wave of lockdown redux or redo. Now my ex-wife wants to cancel Toronto trip for next week. Make me sad and angry. Hi, Les. Well, what power does your wife have to cancel your trip, or your ex-wife, I should say? Ready. Import. There she is. Okay. And turn that down. How about a vector layer? Good old G pen. Yeah. So Ed, how does your ex-wife have veto power over your Toronto trip? Were you going with her? I think that's closed, so let's try. Let's go to the tones layer. No. That is not it. All right. Well, I'll just stick with the ink then for now. So no new messages in the chat for a while? Is that right? Everybody suddenly check your email at once? Does anybody use email for non-work stuff anymore? I do. But not nearly as much as I used to. And so many people that I know, like my kids, they just don't use email. My youngest son eventually will answer an email if I send it to him, but my oldest never will. He just doesn't check it. Ed, how about Jadzia? Does she answer emails? Speaking of emails, that's a linguistic battle that I lost a long time ago. I objected to the use of the term emails when I first heard it. I insisted that no, they are email messages. That did not play out according to my desires, that's for sure. But now, my insistence that they be email messages and not emails seems silly. All right. The skin tone I've picked for her looks kind of blue, doesn't it? Nope. Where's that open? Where did I not close it? Oh well, skip it. What do we got? Lol email messages. Ex-wife can put pressure on our daughter and tell her that she must stay away from her home for 14 days if daughter decides to go with me. Your oldest seems unusually uncommunicative from what you say. Yeah, he is. I learned to draw faces after I learned the anatomy of the skull in anatomy class, though the rest of the skeleton didn't really help in drawing the body. Well, maybe a little in the hips. Yeah, hips are hard, let me tell you. The pelvic girdle, maybe I should say, is hard. Anyway, I don't like that, so let's try again. So put that in. No. No. Oof, that's loud. That'll be Rose. Let's see. Oh, sorry, but my internet's a little slow here. I did watch your stream and it keeps buffering. Tell Ed I said hi. Let's see. I adhere to the 1 week rule. 1 week rule. You can wait up to 7 days to respond to an email without being too obnoxious. Jadzia uses email for school, so email has time to get serious tone to it. We use Facebook Messenger for most communication. Share live location feature is a great tool for parental taxi service. Jadzia is a Polish name. Well, actually, it's a Trill name. It's just short for... not sure how to pronounce that. Jadwiga, which is equivalent to Hedwig. I wrote before I read the next sentence. She was a great queen. Yes, 14 when she married somebody. He was 70 or so, I think, then. All right. Those January-December relationships. Interesting that we got our own Polish topics here. Ed, Polish invasion. One of a few in history. All right. No, that's not the blue I normally use. All right, let's find the proper blue. All right. That's the proper blue. What's this? Not the ink layer. probably on the tones layer. Yeah. All right. Oof, too big. Let's give her hair some highlights, yes. All right, 10 minutes left. Let's just go back to fresco, and we'll draw something else. I'm going to draw something with no reference. Somebody give me a topic. Oh, what do we got here? What is KMO's ethnicity? KMO stands for Kevin Michael O'Connor. Irish as the day is long. I think 0 is the first letter of an Irish name. I think O is the first letter of an Irish name. Yes, O'Connor. Oh, really? Oh, really? I'm listening to an audiobook which claims that shared ethnic identity is the biggest driver of history. Elaborate, Ed. Not sure why I understand. I recently subscribed to a Polish YouTuber. Example, Vietnam conflict. It was not about capitalism versus communism. Karolina Zabrowski. She does some funny videos about historical fashion and how they get it wrong in media. Oh, that sounds interesting. It was Chinese merchant class and their allies versus native Viet people. Draw a backpack. Okay. Oh, right. This is not Clip Studio Paint. The tab mate doesn't work here. An old canvas backpack. It's going to have some kind of patch on it here. Like what? Has anybody been watching The Boys? That's a pretty good show. All right. I'm ready to give a suggestion now. Okay? Let's see. Now I must find the name of audiobook and author. Please stand by. Well, your ethnic group is like your extended family, so that makes sense. KMO mentioned that Japanese are obnoxious because they are not inclusive even to Koreans. Even more than that, even to Koreans who were born in Japan, to Korean parents who may themselves have been born in Japan. You know, if you don't have a Japanese name, you're an alien. Doesn't matter if Japanese is your first language, if that's the only country you've ever lived in. And the Japanese people, the people we call Japanese people, aren't even native to that island. You know, that island chain. The native people are called the Ainu. And there are very few of them left. Yes, I'm looking forward to the final episode of The Boys too. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, things are getting laggy here. This is annoying. There we are. All right. What do we got here? Yes, they were in Hokkaido. Well, I think they were throughout the island chain, but they're only still hanging on in Hokkaido. They go by genetics first. Except Japanese and Korean are really close genetically. You want another one already? Ethnic homogeneity is a two-sided coin. On one side, you have social solidarity. On the other side, exclusion and racism. Ainu were the first. They were the Jomon. Then the Chinese Yaye invaded. Now they are an amalgamation of the two. It is true that the only thing that is permanent is change. That's interesting, Lizik. I agree. Dim, is there a erase delete option in the chat? I don't think so. Not to my knowledge. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Come on, cancel. Actually, maybe it's not a bad idea. Anyway. I like to think that there were exchanges between Ainu and the peoples north of them in Siberia, Aleutian Islands, and Alaska. Why do you like to think that, Ed? Has anybody read Snow Crash? Do you remember the... is he an Eskimo? I think he was an Eskimo. Inuit. Villain. Raven. Avatar: The Last Airbender is maybe that world. That's a good thought, Ed. The Salish Tlingit look a lot like the Ainu. All right. Unless you know more about that ethnography than I do, that's for sure. Who's this dude? I have no idea. All right. Gentle chatmates, it is time. Thank you very much. Let's see.